See us on air.
There
we are.
It took a little while. It was waiting impatiently for something. We were waiting impatiently.
Hello, wonderful people that are out there watching.
You both went. Hi, guys. You both went. There you go, right at the same time.
Well, hopefully there's people watching, maybe. I think everybody heard that Captain Jeff wasn't going to be here. It's like, yeah, I don't know if we want to watch that one. We'll skip it.
I mean, we could do that?
Yeah.
1515. She is known as the patroness of the religious and...
There we go.
There,
Saint Teresa of Avila.
Ah, cool.
Excellent,
all right.
Excellent. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of something else stuff that's been going on this week. Oh, talk about exciting stuff that we had here too. We had meetings that were not so much fun last week. Then I had a party, which was fun. So we'll talk about that.
I took about a 30-hour round trip to Florida.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Drove?
No, I flew in, had a meeting. Flew in, spent the night, had a meeting, and flew home.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never fun.
Yeah, got to do it again in November, and then hopefully I won't have to do it again for a while.
Yuck. Of course, around here, a 30-hour trip is okay. You drive to Billings Airport for 3 hours. You fly for 5 hours. That's 8 hours each way. No.
All right. Shall we start the show?
We shall start the show. I'm retweeting all of Maria's posts here, so that drum up some business, hopefully.
Oh.
All of my posts.
Oh, sorry, Lynn. Sorry. The other Maria Lynn. The one that doesn't go by Maria. Never mind. I'm sticking my foot in my mouth already. This is going to be a good
I
one.
don't go by Maria. Nobody goes by Maria.
Yeah.
No Maria goes by Maria. No Hispanic Maria goes by Maria. I'm sure other Marias go by Maria.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Gosh, I'm making a mess.
Doing this wrong here. I got it. Okay, I think I'm ready here, at least done my part, so let's get this show on the road here. This time I'm actually going to do something silly and, set a timer, so I actually have a clue where we're at. Okay, Father Robert just finished. YouTube video says you're starting, well, that's because I hadn't, yeah. Lynn was just texting. Okay, here we go. Click, click, click. Mute. There we go. Hopefully that'll help. This is Catholic Weekend, episode 291 for the week ending October 17th, 2015. Well, howdy all, it's Father Corey Stika from up here in Malta, Montana, middle of nowhere. Captain Jeff is off punching holes through the sky again, so I'm taking over the lead again. He's busy flying somewhere, doing his job for Acme Airlines, as he calls it on Airline Pilot Guy. I know he's a little clearer about which airline here, but unfortunately I'm not the only one here. I'm not, which is a good thing because you don't want to listen to me for an hour. I'm also joined by Maria Johnson. How are you doing, Maria?
Hi, guys, and I want to clarify. You did say unfortunately, right? Or did you say fortunately?
Fortunately, I'm not the only one here.
I'm happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. Happy to be back in my regularly scheduled shenanigans as opposed to extraneously. scheduled shenanigans, whatever that means.
Exactly. Also, we got Steve Nelson from Oklahoma. Unfortunately, I don't have the music, but how are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing good. I won't sing the song for you, although it immediately popped in my head when you said that. So.
You want me to sing it?
No, thank you.
No.
I'm sure Jeff will add it in later. You know, the beauties of post-editing.
Yeah.
So what's been going on in your guys' world this past couple of weeks? It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to get together.
Yeah. It's turned into fall here. It's I don't know if it strikes you, but at some point in the fall, I noticed that the sun is a lot farther south in the sky than it used to be, and it's just one day, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, it's winter, it's fall.
Yep.
Shadows are all gone.
It does cast a different, but it casts a beautiful light. I think it. That light that's the fall light that just makes everything look, I don't know, different, pretty.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's like here we've got my garage faces to the north, so of course the driveway's on the north side of the building, and during the height of the summer there might be about that much shadow onto the driveway itself. Now when I pull my truck up to the garage, the windshield's completely covered by the shadow, so it's like, okay, yeah, the sun's definitely dropped much to the south, much more prominent up here. Of course, that makes it a pain in the winter because you get that ice on the driveway and it doesn't melt unless you chip it off at all. It doesn't melt at all. It stays there till May.
Huh.
Do you guys have changing leaves?
Oh yeah.
Not like they do in New England, but we do have some.
You have some? Because we're just south of that tree line, so we have very random patches of beauty here right now. But to really see the effect, we have to drive about an hour north. But in the New England thing is amazing. Did you see the guy in the news who is selling fall foliage on the internet? I'm going to put a link on it. I think it's so. Yeah, for brilliant. He's the same guy who during the snow crisis in New England last year was selling snow. Now he's selling. He's selling fall foliage. Okay, what does that mean? He's picking leaves up out of his backyard and sending them to you for $20. And for $20, you get a golden leaf, a red leaf, and a green leaf. 3 leaves.
Oh, so you don't even get a pile. You just get 3 leaves.
3 leaves.
That's brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Why don't I think of this? The last I saw it, he had 200 sales.
What's his name? Who's the
$20.
The circus guy, Barnum,
Yeah.
The sucker is born every day.
Wow.
We know who this is, who these people are. They're people who have moved to Florida year-round because they hate the cold up in New England, but they loved the fall foliage. So they want to buy just some memory of the fall foliage that they grew up with.
Come on, you're telling me they don't have friends in New England? They don't know anybody in New England that would go into the backyard? Look, just get a crummy one off your driveway.
Let's go, Pat.
Obviously, Pat Gone has missed her entrepreneurial opportunity here.
Yeah.
Instead of raking up her yard, she can sell it off $20 a pop.
It reminds me of some of those the junky things you see in airport gift shops.
Mm-hmm.
They have one here. Basically, it's a tube of water that if you turn it upside down, it swirls, and so you've got a tornado in a bottle. So you can take your own tornado.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh wow.
That's insane. Well, I'm going to move to the beach, and then I will be selling sand, right?
There you go. Sand a little vial of seawater, So for people who want their own sea experience.
If they want their own beach, you know what? I'm going to do it. Watch me. I will do it. I will sell beach.
I guarantee you'll get people who buy it.
$20 a pop. Unbelievable. I'm gonna. I can't even believe it. But yeah, so this guy in the news. Didn't we laugh at him? We probably laughed at him last year.
I know we did.
We probably did.
Oh.
Man, think about the free publicity he's got.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, think about it. I mean, too, though. I mean, at least he's making money off his leaves that would normally just end up by the gutter, to be hauled off, bagged up and hauled off. So, I mean, at least he's making money off the deal.
Now he's getting the postal service to haul it off for him.
Yeah,
That's right.
one box at a time.
It's called ship foliage.
Yeah. Oh wow.
You can pay $19.99 for a big handful of dead foliage.
Oh goodness.
Oh man.
Good for him. Good for him.
All right.
So what have you been up to, Steve?
That's hilarious.
Well, I mean, this isn't supposed to be my busy time of the year, but I ended up having to take a round trip, one overnight flight to Florida and back for a day-long meeting.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from that. It really, it tires you out. I'm not as young as I used to be, apparently. And I get home and I'm just exhausted, and the next day is pretty much, wasted because I'm trying to recover from everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's what they pay me for.
So you get the big bucks for, huh?
Yeah, well.
Jetting around the country. I used to think that was such a romantic thing. Not romantic, love romantic, but just, ideology of traveling for work and going to different cities all the time, and then I started doing it, and it's for the birds.
Yeah, I honestly wonder how the pilots like Captain Jeff do it. I mean, I'm sure on their days off they're just like, don't bother me, I don't want to move. And admittedly, of course, Captain Jeff's senior enough that I think he only has like one flight a day, maybe two at most. On a really busy day, so it's not like he's really rush like the rest of us are when we fly, but still.
Yeah, I don't cut it. I don't cut it close anymore. I always take extra time because I'm past that trying to get there, 10 minutes before the flight or whatever. I just don't have it in me anymore. So I take my time and I'll spend an extra hour at the airport just people watching. And I've seen some really remarkable people.
So is that uncharitable to be people watching? I don't know. I figure they're watching me.
No, I'm not doing it out of any kind of, like I'm judgmental or anything, but I just find people interesting, And and then I feel for, you can tell that there's some people that are, they're traveling because of some problem that they're trying to deal with, like maybe going to a funeral or something like that. You can always pick them out because they're just visibly upset or introspective or something, So I try to commiserate with those people when I can. But I'm not one of those people that talks to other people on the plane. I'm not.
You don't drum up a conversation and talk somebody's ear off. I hate sitting in the middle seat.
Well,
I've had to fly a couple of times lately where I've been in the middle. And besides it being uncomfortable beyond measure, I've had a chatty Cathy who wanted to engage for 2.5 hours, and I'm like, seriously?
I don't want to be the creepy guy that's striking up a conversation, with strangers. If they talk to me or, or if there's something, then I will, but I don't want to try to, because you're a captive, you're in that row, and it's like, I just...
It's not like you can get up and go to the lounge or something like that and get away from them,
Yeah.
There's really no such thing.
On the flight I took back from Florida, there were two guys that were friends, and they worked together, and one was right behind me, and the other was across the aisle. And so they were talking with each other. So the guy across the aisle was basically yelling into my ear the whole flight. To talk to his
buddy, yeah.
To talk to his buddy behind me, and I was just like, oh.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Have you ever do you always wear your clerics, Father?
I usually do. Whenever I travel, other than driving, just driving for vacation or whatever, I usually do try. I always like the visibility of it, Admittedly, it has got me some good service once or twice, but I do like the visibility of it as well. Well, that was.
I've had. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I might have told the story before, but when I flew down to CNMC, so I flew out of Billings, Montana, and it was on Delta Airlines. And as I walk in the gate, there's this flight attendant who is obviously Filipino. I mean, she's very much the Filipino face feature. When she speaks, obviously had the Filipino accent. Oh, good morning, Father. Glad you're with us. Like, oh, cool. We got a Catholic Filipino on board. That's good. So because I have a little more leg than some other people do, I pay the little extra for the extended economy seating. And I ended up in the seat that was right behind first class. So, rows 1 through 4 were first class on this plane, and I was row 5C on the aisle. So right there. Well, it turns out this little Filipino flight attendant was the first class attendant. So then as we're going through, they do the food service or the snack and coffee service, and I get my coffee and I finish it off, and she comes up, oh, Father, would you like another cup? Well, yes, I would. Everybody else in economy is not going to get that, but hey, I did. I'll take this. So, so I have got a little better service.
What's wrong with priests today?
I know, isn't that terrible? Clericalism. Getting a second cup of coffee. Oh, and another cookie. She gave me another one of those really good biscotti cookies.
Oh, I love those things.
They're so good. As she walks back to the back, she just kind of snuck it under my arm onto the tray. It's like, oh darn.
I know it's totally weird. I know, but so when they come down and they bring you can have your choice of pretzels or peanuts or those awesome cookies. Oh, yeah. And I always look kind of askance at people that don't take the cookies. And I was like, what?
What's wrong with you people?
What's wrong with you?
There's a grocery chain local to us that sells those cookies.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I bought them. I came home one day with one of those boxes of the cookies, and John looked at me and he goes like, "Where did you get that?" He was like, "Quick, make a pot of coffee."
I wonder how many cases of those cookies that company has sold where people have gotten off the flight and immediately grabbed their phone and ordered a case, because they are that good. I mean, they really are just phenomenal. Actually, I had one in a bag. I was packing to go on my trip last week, my meeting and vacation trip last week, and I found one of those packs of cookies in my bag. It's like, bonus!
Hilarious. Well, I had found myself twice on two different occasions finding myself doing a little bit of evangelization on a flight.
Nice.
Not related to cookies, but that's why I asked about your collar, because I was reading books. One time I was reading Read of God, which is about Mary.
Okay.
And I was really into the book, so I wasn't even paying attention that the woman next to me was kind of hanging over. She was too close to me because she was reading over my shoulder.
Nice. Now that's engrossing your reading. Wow.
And I'm right. She was reading with me, and I'm like, oh, she was a lapsed Catholic, and something on one of the pages drew her eye, and so she was reading it along with me, and I should have given her the book. It was a missed opportunity, but I hadn't finished it, and I wanted to finish reading the book, and I should have given it to her. Like, wow, what a failed moment, because what's it cost, $10 or $12? I could have picked up another copy, but
exactly.
So we had a chance. So we had a chance to speak about her being away from the church and coming back to it. So I thought, wow, how many times does this happen? So another time, I was on a pretty empty flight. I had the whole road to myself.
Oh, wow.
Which never happens. I don't even know how that happened. And I was reading Elizabeth Scalia's Strange Gods, which has been out for several years. But if you haven't read that, I've been rereading it every year at Lent because it's a great book. But it also has such a beautiful cover that it has all the gods that we make for ourselves as part of the beautiful stained glass design. And I was reading it, and I guess I was just getting super comfortable since I had all that room to spread out. And the oh my gosh, I wanted to say I almost said the waitress. Send hate mail to Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, how do you say, the flight
Flight
attendant?
attendant.
I'm trying to be politically correct, all the wrong things. The flight attendant. I noticed that the flight attendant kept walking past me and looking down at the book, trying to catch a good glimpse of the cover. And finally, when she brought me the delicious cookies, I said to her, "Did you want to look at the book?" And she says, "Oh, I'm going to be right back." So she finished doing, whatever she was doing. She came over. She sat with me for the longest time, talking about the book. And
Nice.
she was Christian but not Catholic. And I said, "Well, it's the same thing, whatever faith. We put all kinds of gods before us." And it was such a cool thing because those are not the kind of conversations that I typically have on airplanes. I typically want to tune out everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was two really neat opportunities.
It's so strange. I don't know if I just put off that leave me alone vibe when I'm on a flight, which maybe I do. I don't know. I generally just want to get in the seat, do my thing, and get there. As much as I enjoy aviation and everything, the actual act of being a pilot, or not a pilot, but a passenger on a plane is not that fun. But I really haven't had a lot of conversations like that, even wearing the collar. Of course, I wonder how many people recognize what the collar means anymore. I wonder if we've kind of lost some of that. But you hear stories of priests having confessions in airports. I've never had that yet. And of course, again, I don't fly all that often. It's not like I'm, every week I'm in an airport somewhere like a speaker might be a priest who's a speaker, or some of our bishops and so on, where they're usually flying on a regular basis. But
Here's what you do. Next time you're in an airport, you got some time to kill, find sort of one of those empty gates and take out your stole and just stand there.
Mm-hmm.
And see what happens. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can get a massage.
That would be a neat experiment.
Yeah.
That's right. That would be a neat experiment. Take out your stole. You guys travel with those little teeny weeny inch thick stoles,
We're
right?
supposed to. Some of us don't always, but we're supposed to.
Oh, yeah. You can do that. I would do it.
A Catholic would recognize that and know what it is.
Or do it in a mall. Go to some public place and just sit there and make a show of standing up and putting on your stole and then sit down and see what happens. Make a show. And by that I mean be obvious.
We're going to have to ask you to leave the premises. No.
You're going to have to find a chair and you're going to have to sit there with your hand covering your face.
Well, do it. Go to a mall and get two pull-out chairs, right?
Well, of course, remember where I live.
Yeah, right.
We don't have such things as malls in Malta, Montana.
What a failed opportunity. I'm going to throw that challenge out to any priest in a busy city.
Where was it? Was it Argentina or someplace like that where priests did that? They actually had, the mall did a week where confessions were available. And there were something like 300 priests who showed up for this. Wow. I had to look it up because, it was something pretty incredible.
That wasn't part of World Youth Day down in Brazil, was it?
No. This was recently.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, this was very. I can't remember where I saw that, but there was something like where a bunch of priests went into a mall, or went over the course of a week, went into a mall. Darn it! Of course, now I can't find it. I just did a quick search and I can't find it. But
I would totally go. I would totally go to random priest in a mall.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. 350 priests hear confessions in Bogota, Colombia. I was wrong part of the continent. But 350 priests. They had a confess-a-thon October 6th and 7th in this mall. And 350 priests showed up to do it, and they had thousands of people accept the sacrament. And there's a picture of them where just two priests and this penitent are sitting by by a store there, and hearing confession.
It
That's
kind
awesome.
of it kind of reminds me of the priest I had in college, Father Bob. He would he knew that the college guys were reluctant to go to confession,
Mm.
and so he'd sort of ambush you.
I love it.
I mean, if you were in the church, and he would just kind of appear out of nowhere with his stole and say, "It's probably been a while since we had confession. I can do it right now." And he was very good at making the college guys feel less threatened by it,
Good.
because he made it
Wow.
so easy.
Confession by ambush. I can dig it.
Well,
Yeah.
he was kind of famous for that. The guys would talk because he always had German chocolate cake afterwards.
Oh.
He never mentioned it beforehand, but afterwards he'd
Here.
after absolution and everything, he's like, "So I got some cake. Would you like a piece?"
That's awesome.
I do that. I do that for my students. I have cookies or chocolates or stuff in my drawer at work, and when they come and get a writing conference, which is, I guess, just as bad as going to confession, I suppose. When they're done, I give them chocolate or cookies, and they're like, "What? Is this always here?" And I said, "I've been waiting for you the whole semester. Nobody ever comes to office hours." And they'll go back and they'll say something in class, and then I'll have 3 or 4 show up the next day.
Kind of bribe them, huh?
Is it true? I don't know.
I have to laugh at my staff. Yesterday was Boss's Day, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And so they showed up in my office with this basket of stuff, goodies, and little stuffed animals and hand sanitizer. And basically, they had gone around the office and picked up stuff and put it in including the cookies I had brought them. They gifted back to me.
Well, that explains why there are so many Geico lizards, right? Geico. Was there a Geico commercial or presentation recently?
We have an affinity relationship with Geico, and so they always bring us stuff like that. And so they just run around and picked up all that stuff. Made a nice little presentation out of it.
Did Steve go to work for Geico now? I was looking at that. I was looking at Geico everywhere.
Well, they were getting back at me because I took those Geicos and I hid them in various places around the office. So.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it was a really nice sentiment, but it was just surprising. Everybody was like, "Oh, you have great employees." It was like, yeah, well, basically they just picked up all the junk laying around.
Best. Oh, wonderful. Well, now we got a little bit of a lull in the conversation. We'll take a quick break here so that we can catch our breaths, I think, more than anything else. Of course, Captain Jeff always makes a point to note that the fact that SQPN exists and all the shows that we do are thanks to your contributions. It's kind of like public radio or public television that if you give, they get money from the government. Well, we don't. We do get money. We only get money from donations and from other contributions. So we thank those who have contributed, who have given money to SQPN to keep our shows on the air, keep the website up, and so on. One good way that you can contribute to SQPN is through shopping at Amazon. And I know we've talked about this quite a bit, but if you go to the SQPN website and click on the Amazon link and then do your shopping, SQPN gets a pretty nice little cut of that. And the best part is it doesn't cost you anything. Amazon doesn't charge you more to do it. You can still get your Prime shipping, the whole works, but Amazon keeps a little less of the profit from your purchase. So that's a good thing from SQPN. I know it helps SQPN out immensely when people do that. So please do keep that in mind next time you have to buy something from Amazon. You're buying your new toy or have to order your groceries or whatever people do on Amazon now. It's like I think you can order everything, but I don't know what you can't order from Amazon anymore. It's pretty incredible. So keep that in mind when you shop on Amazon. Also, SQPN has had a long-standing partnership with Bluehost for hosting services. That when you sign up for Bluehost, SQPN gets a little cut there. Gets a little thank you for pushing people their way. I know several of our panelists use Bluehost. I think both you do, don't you?
I do.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I know everybody's used them, so they give good service, and the prices are reasonable. So do look at them when you're looking at setting up web service, or if you're going to migrate your web service from another provider. Keep Bluehost in mind, and again, go to the SQPN website for information on that and how to make sure that SQPN does get that little thank you from Bluehost for sending you their way. So. You guys have talked about what you've done. I guess I should mention what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks because I've been traveling too. So Monday of last week, we had a meeting, 3-day meeting in Billings about business stuff. Don't you love those meetings where it's all like, and a lot of it was the tax information that comes along with the Affordable Care Act. Apparently the only people that Affordable Care Act is affordable for is people who don't pay for it. Their insurance, because everybody else it's more work and money. But yeah, it was. You ever have those meetings where you have to go stand in the back of the room because otherwise you're going to fall asleep and coffee ain't helping?
Yep.
It's one of those. A lot of business stuff. A lot of and then there's all stuff that I don't have to worry about because I've got an office manager to deal with.
So the business meetings are just a part of your regular pastoral duties to make sure that you guys are running, things in compliance with diocesan
Yeah,
guidelines and stuff like
this
that.
was
Was
set
it
up.
was it a diocese thing, or was it an actual municipal thing?
It was a diocesan thing. It was set up by the diocesan business office so that priests and other staff members from the parish. It was open not just to priests. Could go down and learn what we needed to do to make sure that we were in compliance with IRS regulations. And here's the things that the business office can do. And here's what we did have some the Catholic Foundation of Eastern Montana, which is kind of the endowment corporation for our diocese, did speak, and that was some interesting stuff there. How we could contribute to the diocese and contribute to the parishes. Especially for endowments and things like that, which is important. But a lot of the business stuff was just like, I don't care. I don't want to have to deal with this. Isn't that why we have a business office? You guys deal with it. Just tell us what we need to do. Send us an email telling us what we need to do. So.
No, but you have to do the due diligence and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough, but sorry.
Yeah. It's just people forget that there's a whole business side to operating what the building is. I mean, you've got all the pastoral needs that you need to take care of as well, but there's also the other stuff that we forget. We're doing our stewardship call now.
Oh, fun!
At school at church, and and our pastor's been pretty transparent, which we appreciate in terms of what the operating costs are. And I mean, I know they're supposed to be transparent, but I think that he's really transparent.
Good.
And it's good to know that these are the things that go into part of what, hopefully you're tithing, but if you're not, you probably could look at moving in that direction to just help out the entire operation of the church, in addition to the spiritual side, which is what we mostly focus on, or at least what we think we mostly focus on.
Well, I kind of joke that when I was in seminary, I took a class on catechetical ministry on doing religious education, and the Franciscan brother who taught it on one day was talking about how you're going to have staff to handle your director of religious education. You'll have staff to be your youth minister. You'll have staff to be your catechist. You'll have staff to do this, staff to do that, staff to be your janitor, so on down the list. After class, I go up, and he knew where I was from. He knew what diocese I was studying for rural Montana. I go, brother, that might be true in the big parishes around here, but that I'm going to likely be the staff in most of those parishes. I'll have a volunteer DRE, volunteer catechist, if I'm lucky, a volunteer janitor, if I'm lucky, a volunteer maintenance guy.
Yeah.
I think people do forget about the fact that churches in many ways are businesses.
Yeah.
Now, we're a nonprofit. We don't go out and sell things usually. We might do fundraisers, but that's very different from making a product and selling it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very much businesses.
Bingo! We just ran into a whole exciting thing about having bingo at our parish because
Uh-oh.
we have to, yeah, all of the gambling stuff
Oh,
in
yes.
the municipal rules for gambling.
Oh,
And
boy.
I could just see all the old ladies' eyes glazing over.
Yeah. We
They were
don't
like,
care
not
how we
worth
do
it, not worth it.
it.
We
Yeah.
know it's a Catholic tradition, this bingo thing, but no, it's too hard for us to
Oh, you
figure out
get all
what's
the
going on.
regulations involved, and yeah, there's a lot to it. People don't realize that. Even we would do bingo at the county fair every year. They haven't done it in a couple of years, but you had to get the license from the state and all, background checks and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, wow. But yeah, so we had that meeting on Monday through Wednesday. Thursday I had to come back to Malta Wednesday because then I had a funeral on Thursday. And then my original plan was to go from Billings to my parents' house in Dickinson, North Dakota, which is right down the interstate, right down I-94, about 300 miles. Well, that didn't work out because I had the funeral. So then I went to my parents' house because it was my mom's 60th birthday last Saturday.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
yeah.
So we had a big get-together. We invited family and friends, and we had people from all the places we'd lived. So northeast North Dakota to northeast Montana came to Dickinson, North Dakota, and we rented out a ballroom, a conference room there at a hotel there, conference center. And we had food and we had drink and we set up some tunes and we had fun. We had about 60 people show up and $700 bar tab. That shows you what my family's like. Like our and you realize in North Dakota, alcohol even at a conference center is cheaper than it might be in Atlanta or someplace like that. So that's a pretty healthy bar tab for our
And
group.
that was just you and your dad, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we were thirsty. No. So no, we had a lot of fun. It was a blast. Of course, go home, as I always say, visit the folks and spoil the dog. So that's always fun. See family. I've seen people I haven't seen in years. That's always a lot of fun. We get to see people that we've known. Like there was a couple from near Culbertson where I graduated from high school. They were there. I hadn't seen them, I think, since my ordination to the priesthood 7 years ago. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of people just get
So I
together
love
and visit.
hanging.
Yep. And so we had a blast with that.
Hey, can we talk about the saints in the news?
We can.
I'm really excited because, huh?
I said so many saints in the news.
Yeah. We had a big celebration here in our Hispanic community. An image of Our Lady of the Lake, I think, is what it's called.
Oh, sweet.
Anyway, they had it was. What I read was all in Spanish, so I didn't quite get it all. But I don't really know the devotion to Our Lady of the Lake among the Hispanic population, but it was a very big celebration in our cathedral. They had a big parade of flags, and the image processed in, and the bishop said mass. So that was some of the excitement this week in our diocese. But what we're really waiting for is the relics of St. Maria Goretti are going to be coming to Oklahoma in November. We're real excited about that.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. She's on tour, I think, across the country because she's going to be coming here to the Archdiocese of Atlanta. I think at the end of this month.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, it was kind of funny. We had a parishioner here who went to, I want to say she went to New York City when Maria Goretti was there, and got to see the everything going at St. Patrick's Cathedral, saw the Mass or whatever, and of course it was jam-packed to the rafters, so she wasn't able to really get in, but at least it was kind of cool that she was able to be there at the same time. Just happened to walk in, see what was going on.
That's good. I have no idea. I mean, I know that she's touring a lot of the major cities, but I don't know why she's coming to Oklahoma, because we're usually not on that track of things. But she's going to one of our Catholic high schools, and I mean, it's going to be a real learning moment for the people here, and it's even the non-Catholics. I'm sure they're going to wonder what in the world is going on because it's. I mean, basically, it's her body in a glass coffin, I guess you would call it,
Exactly.
and there are going to be a lot of people that aren't going to understand this. So I can't wait to see how it's approached by the church here.
Exactly. Well, I was just looking at the schedule. It's a couple of places there in Oklahoma, so it actually you're kind of the send off before they go back. So
yeah,
that's
we're
cool.
we're actually the last stop on our trip. So I'll try to report on that if I can, because I'm going to make
Awesome.
every attempt to go.
Oh, on Veterans Day, 11/11. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous because she's not coming anywhere near here, although I'd already heard that they're planning a West Coast trip at some point. So hopefully they'll send her to Denver or Cheyenne, Wyoming, or someplace like that where I could actually get to.
Well, that's pretty cool. I know that I think that you need to have tickets at one of the churches that's doing it here in Georgia. I have a hookup. So.
Yeah. Actually, I better check into that. I don't know if I need a ticket. I better look.
Well, I think it's less a ticket for admission and more of a way for them to be able to determine what the crowd might look like.
Yeah.
But I love that the tour is called Pilgrimage of Mercy.
Yep.
That's it's the Year of Mercy, right? Did that start already?
No, that starts Immaculate Conception, December 8th.
So that's pretty cool. I really like that. Well, because the Missionary of Mercy was the theme of the Pope's visit in Cuba. Did he have a theme in the United States?
Was it just the World Day Mission? I don't know. I think it had some. I'm sure that had something to do with the World Meeting for Families.
Right.
I wonder if that was his theme or. I can't remember now.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to go. Well, you know that I saw St. John Paul II's vestments that he wore at a mass that he celebrated in Cuba.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Is that a relic?
Third class, I guess.
It's a third class?
Yeah.
So
yeah, because third class is something that was touched to first or second class.
Well, what's a second class? Isn't that something that belonged to him and he owned?
Yeah.
Would the vestment not count for that?
Did he own the vestment?
Did he own the vestment?
I don't know.
It was probably given to him, and then he gave it back.
And he probably gave it back.
That could be. That very well could be. So it's either second or third class. So yeah, it's a relic.
So if I touched it, does that make me a third class relic?
Did you drink from the water glass?
I oopsed and brushed up against it, maybe not.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's one for you. I knew someone who. You remember when St. Teresa Lisieux was doing the tour around the country? This was probably 15 years ago, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fair.
She came to St. Louis, and I was still living in St. Louis.
I was a pagan at the time, so I was.
Oh, there you go. Came to St. Louis, and I was living in St. Louis at the time, and I knew someone who had actually used their van to help haul her body. So they joked that their van was now a third-class relic of St. Teresa Lisieux.
Well,
doesn't quite work that way. I have
to tell you, it doesn't work that way. I will tell you this story, and I think I might have told this on an old episode of Catholic Weekend, so we have all those listeners have just been done with us. So I'll retell the story. I worked with a woman many years ago whose son worked for the Sisters of Charity here in Atlanta, and when Mother Teresa came for a visit, they were cooking, obviously, for her. And so my friend, who I always thought was just an extraordinary nutcase, and an older woman who passed away a few years ago, but she asked Mother Teresa if she could cut a lock of her hair off. And Mother Teresa said, okay. And so my friend snipped off a lock of hair and put it in an envelope. And I remember when she came into work to share that with us, I was like, you are the weirdest person in the world. What now? I would be like, show me that hair again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Let's just say
awesome.
I've evolved a little bit since then.
Yeah.
But I so it's cool that she had that lock of hair. I'm sure that her son has it now. But
Sure.
what what was she thinking to have asked for that?
She
You know?
probably knew that one day that would be a relic.
That's craziness. That's
I-
But
crazy.
you know, you hear stories of that with the saints throughout history where I'm trying to remember which one it was. One that was it wasn't Padre Pio, but it was someone who was a monk or a religious brother or religious priest, where they had to keep making him new clothes because every time you would take off his clothes for the night and it'd go to the laundry, it would get stolen and torn up as relics.
Oh,
Oh
really?
no.
They had to keep making him new habits because they knew that this guy was going to be a saint. There's stuff like that throughout history where, yeah, um,
That would make me feel really, really creeped out.
yes, it would.
Somebody taking my stuff.
What do you mean I got to have a new shirt again?
What?
Yeah.
It's a little
But
strange.
that's something I've always thought about is does a saint know that they're a saint?
No. No,
Humility
why
would
would
say
they?
no, but and some of the saints, you read their writings and they're very clear that they knew they had room to grow. They
Right.
knew they had a ways to go. So, and in humility, you would say no, but I guess
Yeah.
they're
No.
like anybody else. They were more aware of their sins than we
Right.
are. And that's really what makes a saint is having awareness of your sin and desire to live by God's commands, by His
Right.
will.
So they probably wouldn't like that kind of attention,
No.
but at the same time, they probably have a larger sense of charity, and so they would let. So there's probably this long-going battle between being humble and being charitable.
Well, then you hear about Padre Pio, and sometimes it said that his charity slipped. Like, he was said to be quite grouchy at times.
All right, now let's not project too much holiness on these people. We know that a lot of them had raging anger and some other
Oh yeah.
things.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they were human just like the rest of us. I think, but they were more aware of their sins. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah, and I think
they
that
didn't live them.
awareness would probably keep you from thinking you were a saint.
Yeah.
Exactly. I still love the Amy
The
Wellborn's
real question
quote.
to ask.
I still love Amy Wellborn's
Oh, about
quote
the
on her
martyrdom?
blog about I hope they make me a martyr and they do it quick. That's the only way I can become a
Yeah,
saint.
Yeah.
That's a great quote from Flannery O'Connor.
What was that, Flannery O'Connor? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Well, I suppose we've been talking, believe it or not, for about 45 minutes. I suppose it's time for our picks of the week.
Oh
Assuming
boy,
we all have one. Oh.
I do.
I kind of
Oh, yeah.
sort of do.
You kind of sort of do. I
Yeah.
have one. I have to congratulate Sarah Reinhard and her word by word book,
Mm.
which hit #1 in Mariology this week. So it's a bestseller. It's a bestseller. Congratulations to Sarah. Get the book. It has a lot of our friends who've written pieces in it. Gosh, I should have just gone to get it so I can tell you all the names. I wrote a little piece in it. Sarah Vabulous wrote a little piece in it. I know Pat Cohn wrote a piece in it. Jeff Young. I hate that I don't have everybody's name now, because there are a lot of people that I think our listeners would recognize.
That's pretty
in the
cool. Where
book.
do you find it?
You can get it on Amazon and use our SQPN link to purchase it
Okay.
there. And it's just going big guns, and it's a great book. And if you don't know what it is, it takes the Hail Mary word by word and has different people give a reflection on what that word means. As a word in isolation, right? But as a part of this greater prayer, which is really a really interesting way to pray the Hail Mary. If you want to contemplate each word individually, so it's a neat thing, and I'd encourage you to see it, get it, buy it.
That's pretty
Cool.
cool. It reminds me of Lectio Divina.
It's
in a way.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So-
That sounds great. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. You got one, Steve?
Well, I got two. Maria didn't promote her own book, and the special going on at Ave Maria Press, which is, I guess you can pre-order the book for a discounted price of $11. If
That
I
is correct. They're running that special through the end of the month, but you have to buy it from the publisher to get the $11
And is there a
discount.
special code?
Use code Maria,
Maria.
Maria, Maria.
Yeah. AveMariaPress.com
There you go.
/ badass.
Badass.
I would laugh if they did that. That would be awesome.
No, that is actually
that's
the link you go to.
That's hilarious.
I know. When I was typing that in yesterday to order those books, it was like nobody but Maria could get Ave Maria Press to use that URL.
Guys, I need a hashtag, and I don't want it to be badass. Well, I guess if they did it, huh? If that's what the URL is, then we'll go with it, right? I appreciate it. It's getting some attention. It is
Good.
getting some attention. I'm really happy because of the content. If you can get past the cover and the title, which a lot of people love, I hope that you love the content even more.
Yeah, well, I love the cover. I really do love the picture that they chose for it, but the image and everything, it's just really cool. So.
Yeah.
In a more serious note, it's not really a pick of the week, but could I ask for prayers for the repose of the soul of Father Ian Tharp? He's a priest of the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City who passed away yesterday at the young age of 42 from a heart attack. He was well known in Oklahoma and in Catholic circles especially, and my Facebook feed just blew up with hundreds of people that were lamenting his passing, and so apparently he was in Kansas City visiting his spiritual director when he died. So I suppose that was a blessing for him to go that way. But anyway, so if you could say a prayer for Father Ian Tharp, I'm sure it'd be very appreciated.
Yeah, I remember following him. He used to be one of the two priests on the Catholic Rage Monkey blog.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first met him, if you will, when I was still a seminarian. Now, Steve, you're saying he was only 42.
That's what I understand, yeah.
Yeah, so it's only 3 years older than me. So that, yeah, definitely keep him in your prayers. Everything I've heard says he was a wonderful priest, a very holy man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely. It's a tragedy when something like that happens. So
yeah, I had met him a couple of times. He was chaplain at St. Gregory's University, which is a Benedictine college here in the center part of the state, and he had brought his students to some Catholic student conventions that we'd had when I was doing campus ministry. So I got to know him in that context. But
well, eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him.
Amen.
Excellent. Thank you for bringing that up. I definitely want to keep them in our prayers. My turn. I guess I'll stick with the book theme for my pick of the week. I think most people who are watching, I'm sure we're all familiar with the Magnificat magazine, and just excellent daily mass resource, prayer resource, excellent little, well done books. Well, they bring out their companions every year, their Lent and Advent companions and things like that. Well, I just got this in the mail. Of course, us parish priests, we get freebies once in a while. And they sent us a freebie of the Magnificat Year of Mercy Companion. So it's a 1-year little book. It's fairly thick, actually. You can see got some pretty good bulk to it. But there's different prayers for each day, different meditations, different stories of saints, catechesis, just kind of flipping through. You're looking at devotions and all kinds of good stuff. Again, if you've read Magnificat, the quality of the stuff that they put into their magazines are always excellent, excellent, excellent. So very much worth giving a check out. They even have a section where they talk about what a Jubilee year is, how you get the indulgence, all this kind of good stuff. So everything you need to know for the Year of Mercy, and again, a little companion to kind of walk you through the year and make it a prayerful year of mercy. Because that's the important part of this is it needs to be a year of prayer. Mercy comes through prayer. We receive God's mercy through prayer. So definitely check this out. You can get it from the Magnificat website. I don't know if you can get it on Amazon, but I know you can get it from Magnificat. Maybe your parish might even order it. You might want to mention it to your pastor and say, hey, you might want to consider ordering a bunch of these to hand out or to have available for people to buy from the parish, whatever you want to do. So definitely recommend that. In fact, here's the little how much it costs.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying I've seen them sold separately at our local Catholic bookstore. So if you have one of those, you might check there.
Exactly, bookstores will have them. If you buy just one copy is $8, $7.99. But if you buy them in bulk, like if a parish buys up to 500 of them, it's only $2 a piece. Ooh. So that's a way to do it. It's $3 a piece for less than from 100 to 500. So I might actually consider doing that. For a parish like mine, that would be reasonably affordable.
Yeah.
So yeah, do check them out. Again, Magnificat is it Magnificat.com? Yep, Magnificat.com. And very much, I always love their companion guides. They're always very meditative, prayerful, wonderful resources to help grow in our spiritual life. So that's an important thing. So we've actually done it. We've actually gotten to the end of the show, believe it or not.
Hey, one more thing, Father.
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
Is it your birthday?
My birthday?
Yeah.
No, it's not till June.
Okay.
Yeah, we celebrated that in June. Did you hear a rumor?
Oh, it's Father Corey's birthday. I'm sorry. I was reading the chat and I mistook you for Father Corey. Apparently, it's Father Corey. I'm sorry. Father, isn't it not your birthday? Whose birthday is it?
Not mine.
Oh, your mom's. Your mom's birthday.
Mom's birthday. We talked about that earlier. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Well, we can celebrate my birthday again. I'll take birthday gifts again.
Sorry. I was just checking in on the chat room and I did not read it carefully. My apologies.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, so I keep forgetting to have it close at hand and grab it.
We needed a train wreck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Cap Jeff's not here, so it definitely had to happen eventually. So, Maria, where can people find you other than ordering your excellent book from AveMariaPress.com?
That's right. Or if you missed that special, or if you want to play full plot price, right, you can get it through Amazon. You can find me at Bago on Twitter, and you can look at my website, which is mariamjohnson.com. And I'm in a couple of places this week. I finished off the 4-part series at Alatea, and so I point to those articles on my blog, so you can just go one place and go out. And I'm also featured this week at CatholicMom.com. Interviewed for Word by Word by Sarah. But wait, there's more. For those of you who are local in Atlanta and want to go to a book signing for my badass Book of Saints, I will be at the National Catholic Singles Conference next weekend, which is October 24th, signing books from 1 to 2 at the Hilton downtown in Atlanta. So,
yay!
all of these things. Is that crazy or what? I'm having fun.
Good. And how about you there, Steve? Where people find you?
As long as you're not part of the Witness Protection Program, you can find me at everythingisstayfun.com.
How long have you been holding that one?
It just hit me.
Excellent. You can find me at frcorey.org. That's my website where I post my homilies. I'd like to do more there, but I'm not as prolific as Maria is, so I don't get anything published there other than my homilies. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that. Well, not YouTube. I guess I've done stuff there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff at frcorey.stica. That's last name spelled S-T-I-C-H-A. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a very blessed weekend, a very blessed Catholic weekend. God bless. There we go. 55 minutes, so close
Hey,
enough.
that's not bad.
That's
Not
good.
bad at all.
We survived.
Not bad at all.
Once Jeff's done editing, it'll be like 30 minutes, but that's all right. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, really.
Don't want that cut. Don't want that cut. No. No, our crowd was a little light today, and unfortunately, I'm only showing 2 viewers now, down to 1. So.
Oh, no.
Well, there's 5 people in the chat room.
Yeah.
We're probably 3 of them. So.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's let's see here. There's me. There's you, Steve. There's Mike and Lynn. So we got our regulars.
The regulars are there.
Yeah, I think Father Roderick is
Is he still chatting?
he's doing Geek Week now. I think.
Oh, is he? That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always tough. They'd rather hear him than me. So.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're good. Well, so I can't believe that I'm going to. You know what my husband said to me? I said, "Oh, honey, guess where I'm going to be next week? I'm going to be signing books at the singles conference." And he, without missing a beat, said, "Aren't you a little ripe for that?"
That's good.
Oh, is it now?
Oh, it's funny.
Is it? Is it good?
Not accurate, but it's good.
I guess I'm a little ripe for that. There you go. He's ridiculous. He's lucky. He's after 30 years of marriage. I think he can get away with that. But a little ripe.
So you'll put
for
up with
that.
him for a while longer, huh?
What's that?
You'll put up with him for a while longer, huh?
I have to. As my dad said when we asked permission to get married, he says this is a one way out of this house. No return. Oh well.
Well, it worked out, it sounds like, so.
Yeah, he's all right. He's an okay guy.
That's good.
He's an okay guy. Well, I've got to go do book stuff, guys. This is so
darn.
crazy. No, well, it is a little
Oh,
time
there we go,
consuming.
Mike. At least John didn't call Maria a relic.
That's what somebody called me. Somebody asked if I was a relic. If I touched John Paul's stuff. Actually, I guess the chat room is small. In Cuba, one of the ladies who was in the kitchen doing the kitchen duty when the Pope was eating at my uncle's swiped his napkin.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And the head person that was in charge of everything was like, "There's a missing napkin, and we're not going to have any of this. Bring it back."
Ooh.
And so she had to come forward.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
nobody
sure-
was upset about it. Nobody was upset. She wasn't in trouble. It's just that the head of housekeeping wanted the napkin.
We put 10 out, we expect 10 back, period, or whatever,
But I don't think it got washed. I think that they're making a little museum. So they're probably going to set the table the way it was set for him. I saw, he drinks that funny tea, the mate tea. And I saw a beautiful, beautiful set that they had given him as a gift.
Mm.
So he used it and left it. So he used the set and left it. So he recognizes that as Pope that they want to keep these things. Whether or not he thinks he's a saint is a different issue, but that as the Pope that went to visit at the house who used these tools and things, he understood that.
That's awesome.
So, would you or would you not get your bobblehead blessed by him?
I might. I got the little waving Pope like Father Roderick has. Maybe I'd get that one blessed.
I threatened to take it with me and show it to him.
Oh yeah.
And my mother was already having a meltdown about the selfie, but I did take Hello Kitty with me. and she was present in the room with the Pope.
Uh, visible to the Pope?
I took a picture of where she was on the coffee table. Do you want to see?
Sure.
Can
That's
I
funny.
share that?
That's funny.
You'll like
There's
this. Mike Kuipers. The napkin was taken by a LAPS-ED Catholic.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
Good
You know,
one, Mike. Good one.
we just need to have a gigantic, if there's another CNMC, we just need to fly you out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fly you, drive you, do whatever we got to do to get you there.
Whatever we have to do to get you there so we can all love on you.
Exactly.
So, you guys want to see some of the pictures? Do you want me to share the screen and I'll show just a couple of, there's not many people here, right?
Yeah, just a couple of us. So.
Interested or no?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. How do I share the screen? Now I need to go
It's the
back.
little green thing with the arrow. How to figure out how to do it. There we go.
Did it come up?
Now it should be. You should be highlighted.
So
Yeah, I
that's
gotta
the
highlight
door.
you.
That's the door to the bedroom. That's the that's my aunt and my mother. That's his bedroom.
Ooh,
Oh, we got a fan. Nice.
Yeah, that was the
moved him
room.
up in the world.
Can you see the thing moving? The little cursor?
No, we can't. All we can see is your menu or your file.
Yeah,
okay.
the sidebar.
So that was his. So can you see the big picture?
No,
Oh,
Oh,
just
you're only seeing the little. You're only seeing
because
the
you only
little.
shared the little, which is
Oh.
fine. That's fine. It
No,
doesn't
that's
matter.
fine. We can see it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, that's all that you see. Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
it's fine.
All right. So let me see what else. Oh, I'm a mess, huh? I gotta go here. All right. So I think. So those are images of Our Lady of Charity and whatever the Argentinian one is. I can't remember her.
Oh wow.
Hilaria. I can't remember.
Wow, I love those frames. My
Yeah,
gosh.
no kidding.
Oh, pretty.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So that was the decor in his room, and so they gave him. See that little black box is the tea set.
Oh,
And there it is.
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so he did. He prepared it for himself and enjoyed a glass. And I
That
slept in the room. That was his bedroom. So that's my uncle's room. I don't know that you need to see any of that. So that was the hallway where I stayed down the hall. So up on see where that piece is on the top? There's some steps going up, and that's where the Pope was, and I was in that room on the left.
Oh wow.
So,
But you weren't there at the same time he was. You didn't stay there the same
No.
time he was.
I wasn't sleeping there at the same time. It wasn't at night. It was an afternoon nap. So I slept there that night, but that's my family. So I wonder what else I have here. Oh, that's just my uncle's office. So that's
Beautiful.
that statue of Our Lady of Charity was found in the Bay of Nipe, 400
Really?
years after the original statue was found in the Bay of Nipe.
Oh wow.
It had been commissioned. Yeah, it had been commissioned in the early part of the 20th century, and the communist government took it from a church where it was, and it disappeared. And they think that it was just thrown into the bay.
Sure.
And it was found and cleaned up, and Pope Benedict gave it to my uncle for safekeeping until it could be put into a church.
Wow.
So the first church that's being built in Cuba since the Cuban Revolution in 1959 is being built right now in my uncle's diocese, where they will install this image,
That's awesome.
the statue. And it's the church is being built on the site of where Our Lady of Charity was first venerated. So it's really beautiful.
Wonderful.
It's in Badajoa. I have a picture of that somewhere.
Wow.
So these are just some random pictures.
What is that? Donkey?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 horsepower.
Yeah. Lots of. So we went everywhere we went was furniture from my uncle's, from our grandfather's house. So this crucifix, we went down to this town called Hibara, which is in Holguin, in the province of Holguin, and that's where my uncle's the bishop in the diocese of Holguin, and he had one item from each church in his diocese that was taken to the mass that was in Holguin.
Mm.
Hmm.
And so that was the crucifix that they took from this little church of Fulgencio in Hibara, to be the crucifix in the sacristy
Wow,
at the
that's
church.
awesome.
And that's the priest, Father Dayron. Sweet, sweet guy. Young priest. So these are images inside that church.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they're tiny little things. I'm sorry, that's the church. They were just taken down adoration hours before, so the altars still has some special layout in there. Those are bread trees. I've never heard of this fruit, breadfruit trees.
Okay, I've heard of it. I've never seen it before.
Could you show it to me again?
The fruit?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know where it was.
I'm just curious because I think we had something similar in PNG. Yeah. Yeah, we've had. Okay.
It's just this weird hanging fruit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I missed
It's
it.
weird, isn't it? I don't know what else to show you. We went to visit these sisters. I love the floors. So that's the view of the sisters' house.
Wow.
It's rough, right? Oh, let's see
Amazing.
if I can get to the mass.
So, are religious persecuted in Cuba, or
Um,
are they just not? I don't know.
not
So celebrated.
anymore. It was against the law when Cuba was declared an atheist state. There was religious persecution. The first thing that the communist regime did was expel all religious from the island. So, in particular, the Jesuits were rounded up in the middle of the night and put on a ship and literally just taken away.
Wow.
The Augustinians, the Franciscans, they were all required to leave. So there were no orders. For example, at the church where I was baptized was run by Franciscans, and the Franciscans had a really long presence. Did I tell you guys about the Speakeasy restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, cool.
That's somebody's backyard in a bohio, in a native Indian hut. So with a complete bar.
Nice.
So, and that's the guy who's an author and an English teacher. So yeah, so all the religious were expelled, and the Franciscans have just come back a few years ago. So all the religious that are in Cuba are missionary. A lot of them are from Colombia, Guatemala, Spain. A lot of missionaries from Spain. And the one of the women that I so enjoyed speaking to was on the last leg of the trip in Havana. They were Carmelite nuns who were missionaries to other countries from Cuba, and so they found themselves outside of Cuba. And she worked in Guatemala for years, and then from there went to Chile. And she got sick. She got some kind of lung problem, I guess, from the temperature or the humidity or the cold air or something in Chile. And so she was allowed to return to Cuba to retire. But the Carmelite monastery is is back. So we saw some really interesting things. There's an order from South America called Martha and Mary, Sisters of Martha and Mary. They're servants. Their charism is service.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
I've heard of them.
have you?
It sounds familiar.
So they're the ones who are. How do I undo this? How do I stop the screen?
We got you back.
You're back.
So it's really curious because what their charism and service, and so they're in Cuba in service, and they took over what was a convent that I can't remember what the order was of that original convent, but when it was nationalized and seized by the government, they turned it into a disco, and lots of things of ill repute were happening in that residence for a long, long time, and it was returned to the church, who then turned it over to this order of nuns who now run it as a retreat house for religious in Cuba. So they're serving the religious and the priests. So they were having this is in Havana now. So they were having the bishops were having a meeting after the Pope left, and pre-synod, post-papal visit, they were having their conference there at the retreat house. So we went there, and my uncle was preparing it because he was the one who was in charge of it. So we left him off the night before. We went to a party at my uncle's. He joined us for part of the party and then left and went back to the retreat house, and we went back to the house where we were staying, and then went back in the morning for Sunday Mass, which was a private Mass for us because we were going to board a plane. So he says, as soon as you're ready, we'll have the Mass so that you have Mass for the day, and then you can get onto your travels. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That is neat.
But so the religious are coming back. So there's no religious persecution anymore, but there's not. There's a Catholic identity, which is not the same as being practicing Catholic.
Now the same problem we have here in the States.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, I'm going to go, guys.
Yep.
I would love to share my pictures with you sometime if you really want to look at them in a setting that's probably better than a teeny weeny little thumbnail.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Well, we'll get off air here, and we'll see everybody next week. Bye, all.
Bye.